Hey guys, Blade here, and today we are going to explore some of the best Titan builds for Renegade campaign. You can easily do your legendary Renegade campaign or the normal one, whatever you want, with really ease with these builds. So let's talk about our very first build. We are going to be using the arc kinetic build, and the exotic piece we are using here is Chest of Alpha Loopy, which heals us when we are behind our barricade or whenever we cast our barricade. We heal ourselves, and it is also good if you are going in with fire team. It also heals your allies behind your barricade, so really solid pick for this build. And the second thing on your armor you need with this build is the Texec 4-piece, with which you can deal massive kinetic damage to enemy shields. As you can see that I'm using New Land Beyond with this build, and for this Cabal I can easily destroy their shields almost in 1 or 2 shots of this weapon, and you can also disorient them while doing so. So really solid pick for this build. And in Renegades we have to fight Cabal, so this weapon has really good advantage. Cabal have really big heads, and you can easily hit your precision shots with this build. And the ammo generation on New Land Beyond is also really good. It has 54 ammo generation. And the weapon on your, you can also use any special arc weapon if you want. If you are in fire team, use any arc special weapon. If you are doing it solo, I recommend using any primary ammo weapon with arc damage with perk either jolting feedback or the bolt shot perk is also good. And use any heavy arc machine gun. You can use any heavy arc machine gun you want. So these three are the weapons we are going to be using with this build. So let's talk about the subclass and fragment aspects. For aspects, we will be using Storm's Keep for extra damage and Touch of Thunder. So with Touch of Thunder, your pulse grenade will generate ionic traces with which you can easily keep up your armor charges and your abilities. We will be using Rally Barricade with Thunder Crash. And on fragments, you need to use Spark of Shock, Spark of Resistance, Spark of Ions, and Spark of Discharge. Instead of Spark of Ions, you can also use Spark of Magnitude if you want. These two are replaceable. And on your helmet mods, you need to use Special Ammo Finder and Heavy Ammo Finder. You can also use Harmonic Siphon or Kinetic Siphon. You can use any of these. On your hands, you need to use Firepower with Harmonic Loader and Bolstering Detonation. For your chest, if you are solo, use 3 resistance mod. If you are in fire team, use 1 kinetic ammo generation. And on your boots, you need to use 1 elemental charge, 1 kinetic scavenger, so we can get more ammo whenever we pick up ammo for our New Land Beyond. And we are going to use harmonic scavenger. And for our mark, we need to use special finisher for our sniper, kinetic sniper, and reaper with bomber. So I think this build is really solid against Cabal. Really easy gameplay loop, and the best thing about this build is that it has really easy gameplay loop. You just need to cast your barricade whenever you are going to die. Just cast your barricade. For shields, destroy their shields with the kinetic New Land Beyond, and switch to your arc weapons for immediate ad clear. You can use your super, or if you do not want to use New Land Beyond, the other thing you can use here is Supremacy with the Microcosm. This is also a really solid combo with this build, and you deal massive kinetic damage to your enemies. And this thing is just awesome with TechSec and all the healing and stuff. And you should know that the Cabal enemies, when you are fighting Cabal, you can expect Goliath tanks, and we also saw some brigs and vehicles in the campaign. So this build can be helpful because with TechSec you can deal massive kinetic damage to the construct. So here you can see we are fighting a Goliath tank in Cabal faction, and the precision hits are dealing massive damage to the tank. So that's why I think this build will be really helpful for your campaign. The Cabal have really big heads. You can easily hit your precision shots with New Land Beyond, and for ad clear you can just use your machine gun. The ammo economy of New Land Beyond is really solid, so this is our first build. So let's move to the next one. Here we have Strand Titan build, which is my favorite build, and I used it a lot in Edge of Fate and now in Renegades. At start this is going to be really insane till you get your Praxic blades and use it. The Wolfbane, you know, is getting new buffs. This exotic is really broken now. It has really good ammo economy. You almost have infinite ammo with this thing, and this thing absolutely melts. You are a land tank with this build. So the exotic we are using with this build here is Ambient Leap, and you know that Ambient Leap is one of my most favorite Titan exotic, which grants you some really good source of damage resistance, which is Woven Mail. So we are using the exotic Ambient Leap here with this build. You can use it on Prismatic too, but I think Strand is way stronger with this build. You are absolutely a tank. When you use your Ranger Slash, you suspend the targets and you gain Woven Mail. So it is really easy to get Woven Mail, and you just need to use this X with Attrition Orbs. With this build, you have infinite Woven Mail and healing and damage resistance you also get from the X. So just spam your X, and for the range targets, you need to use the sidearm return memory, or you can also use Mint Retrograde, or you can double dip if you want. You can use Mint Retrograde or and the new Arc Pulse Rifle coming next season. So this build really, it is just really strong, and it is getting buffed next season, and I know the Wolfsbane is going to cook. So let's talk about the fragments and aspects here. We need to use Banner of War for sword damage and healing, Ranger Slash for the exotic and suspend. You can use grapple if you want, but I prefer shackle grenade for an extra source of Woven Mail and suspend. You need to use Rally Barricade with this build, and thread of continuity, thread of boarding, thread of isolation, and thread of mind are the fragments you need to use. You can switch thread of isolation with thread of ascent or any other fragment you want, but this is really good when you are hitting the boss with severing bursts, so they can deal low damage to you. And on our helmet we are using heavy ammo finder. You need to use solar siphon with it, and on your hands you need to use heavy handed with melee fonts. On your chest you can use any resistance mod you want to use, and on your boots you need one insulation for your class ability recharge rate and one solar weapon surge for your Wolfsbane, and your special ammo weapon, it should be solar. And on your boots you need to use time dilation with restorative empowered finish, or you can use any other mod you want. You can use here bomber or outreach, but I think empowered finish is also good. So this build lets you spam heavy. You just use your X. You don't use any other weapon. Your X is the main weapon you want to use. Whenever you use the nano salt on your Wolfsbane, just immediately switch to your other weapon, so you can have uptime on your nano salts. And I hope this build, I think I will be using this build a lot next season because the Wolfbane is now. I I just hope it does not get nerfed again because for Ultimate and Grandmaster this is just broken because of infinite ammo and the other buffs it is getting. You are getting buff with damage resistance and it is going to heal you more often, so also the damage increase in it is equal to now aggressive frame swords, so this thing is going to shine. So let's move to our third and last build for today's video, which is a Stasis Titan build. So Stasis Titan is really solid now. You can use Prismatic one, but I think that now the Ice Consecration is better than Prismatic because you have constant frost armor and you don't really need to build up like Transcendence or anything. This build has self-sustained loop, which is really solid part of this build. You have really good mobility for jumping puzzles with your 2 melee charges. You can just spam your melees, and this build is absolutely insane with Syntheseps, or you can also use Icefall Mantle if you want more resist. So the exotic we are using with this build is Icefall Mantle, which grants you frost armor when you cast your class ability, and you also get frost armor from every source, and whenever you get frost armor you also regain a good amount of health. So that's why with 50% damage resist all the time, the healing, I think Icefall is a really solid choice for any endgame content. So you can use here the Syntheseps for more melee damage and super damage, but I prefer Icefall Mantle for more defensive playstyle. And with weapons, you need to be using here are new Malpias, and you need any Waveframe heavy ammo sword to smash the crystals, and you need to use any range weapon here. You can use any pulse rifle, scout rifle, or any weapon you want in your special slot. You can use any weapon you want, but I think Neo Malpias is really solid for your first slot to deal range damage and build up your super faster. So on your fragments, you need to use Whisper of Rhyme, Whisper of Hunger, Whisper of Rending, and Whisper of Conduction with this build. So the Whisper of Hunger is the most important part of this build because you need to get melee energy from your shards. You are creating infinite shards, so you have melee energy from them. Howl of the Storm and Tectonic Harvest are the aspects we're taking with this build, and Glacier Nade for your supply of the stasis shards to get melee energy. And we have only one super, so there it is. We are using this super, we have nothing else to use. So on your helmet you need to use 2 super fawn for maximum super damage with this build, and harmonic siphon for your sword. And on your gauntlets you need to use melee fawn and 1 grenade fawn. And on your chest you need to use 3 resistance mod. We are fighting Cabal, so we need to use solar resistance in Renegades a lot. Solar resistance use, or you can also use void resistance when you are fighting the Cabal Sanatorians. Otherwise the solar resistance and arc is fine with Cabal. And on your boots, the most important font is elemental charge. You really need to use this to get armor charge. Whenever you pick up shards you will get armor charge, so you will have maximum armor charges all the time to feed your fonts. And weapon font is good, or you can switch to another elemental charge, or the innervation you can also use this here. It is switchable, but I prefer weapon font here. Harmonic scavenger for your sword must have. And on your mark you need to use class font and a reaper font, or you can use 2 class fonts for more class ability energy, but I think you should use 2 class fonts for 100 stats on your class ability. The stats you need to prefer on this build are super, melee, and then class. Grenade is not needed that much, and you don't even need weapons. You just spam your melee and hit everything with this build. Really solid build for your Renegade content and any endgame content. I think this is now one of the best Titan builds in the game. And the reason is that it is really simple to use. You just spam your melee, and while in your super, your Hall of the Storm deals some massive damage. You can use, again, as I said, you can also use Syntheseps with it if you want more damage, but I think for more survivability, the Icefall Mentor really helps you a lot because you gain health a lot faster when you are spamming your melee. And you can just see in the background video here, we just deleted two barrier champions at ultimate difficulty. So this build will be still broken in the next expansion. So I prefer it to any other prismatic titan build like the consecration ones. You can here also use the warm god curse if you want. So I hope you enjoy all these builds. If you ask me what is my favorite build among all of these, it is definitely the one with the Wolf's Bane. I love to use that thing, and it's getting some serious buffs, and it is just so much fun to use. So meet you in Renegades and with Praxic Blade. Let's see how good we Titans are with our new sword buffs. This is our season Titans, and I hope you will enjoy the next season. This is the last video for Edge of Fate, and have a nice day, Titans. See you in Renegades. Bye bye.
There's only one data artifact here, labeled Oxa.